Try to work on the different patterns of my, because I've got this pattern walking it back kind of. So then I was going to try to think about different, like doing it, just breaking that pattern up in different rhythms, or maybe like this pattern I was going. So instead of hammering on this one, every other, maybe I try hammering the pinky. Versus. Trying to do the same pattern but reach up to the string above it, but it doesn't work because the alternate picking is off, right? So now I'm going to try to make it work. I was going to try to do the same thing and skip a string. So now I'm, instead of going to the one below it, same pattern, but I'm going to go 2 strings down. So this is kind of hard on my right hand. It'd be easy if you're a finger stylist, I would suppose. I could grab tap it with my ring finger, but I'm not gonna practice that right now. Alright, so what I'm going to do today, I'm going to try to continue on with the saga of, well, we're in the collection of notes around the key of C. I'm doing a lean back chord construction from this node, practicing intervals, practicing the distances and the shapes for the collection notes around the key of C, and then the collection notes around D major, and then F, and then G, and then A. So I'll try to learn all of those shapes by just moving them up the fretboard, having the same names, because we're just going to use the same nodal point system, basically changing the key signature as we go through them. All right, so now I'm going to do, let's try a quick joke first, and then I'll see if I can do that. I'm going to turn on the air here real quick, because it seems like the air conditioning is not working again. I can't take it. I can't take it when that's the case. Let me see if I can bring this in, and then see what we have here on the joke. I can't remember what was the joke this time. Let me think about it. It's gaslighting again. I don't like the gaslighting stuff. Alright, I turned on the air. Okay, so now, let's see. So we're on, let's see what I got on my rant. Okay, look, I'll admit the gaslighting left's deconstructivist circus has me a little crazed. It's made me a little bit crazed because I feel like there's a lot of lying going on, you know? And that not I'm not totally insane, just lightly toasted. Like, my eye twitched a bit, but I can still function just a little crazed. But some people, on the other hand, oh no, they're past crazed. They're way past crazed. They don't stop at crazed 1, 2, 3. They don't cross through crazed A, B, C. No, these folks blew straight through past the crazed alphabet like a Tesla on self-driving mode and forgot the whole middle part of the alphabet even existed. They're at crazed Z. They are crazed to the Z, people. Crazy. That's what I'm talking about. That's the final boss of crazed. You start off just crazed, you go through the alphabet, they just went right through it. So you can't go further than that. There's no crazed, past Z. You end up hitting the Z wall if you're completely crazed to the Z, And it's terrifying because once you've got a whole movement of people living at level crazed Z, the final level, the final Pokemon evaluation of Unhinged, where do they go from there? Where's the next step? They've hit the wall, you would think. There's nowhere left on the crazed map except possibly, I don't know, AA? Is that what comes after Z? They're gonna need to go to AA? That's what's gonna happen here. Which is either a recovery group or a level of crazed where people started arguing like stop signs were beamed in by aliens to slow down the human evolution, man. And red lights are part of the intergalactic behavior modification program, calibrated to avert your eyes from the mothership they parked behind the Arby's. This is the kind of crazed I'm talking about. It started off just normal gaslighting, and now you've got people that are crazy, okay? And I wrote a song about it. Here, let me see what this is the first time I heard it. I just put my joke into Suno, and let's see what Suno gives us this time. All right, I'll give you my first impressions.
Look, I'll admit it. The gaslighting left's deconstructivist circus has me a little crazed, not fully insane, just lightly toasted. Like, yeah, my eye twitched, but I can still function. Crazed. But some people, oh no, they're past crazed. They didn't stop at crazed 1, 2, 3, didn't even cruise through crazed ABC. They skipped the whole syllabus like they were late for a meeting with crazy itself. They blew straight past the alphabet, Tesla on self-driving mode. Forgot the middle letters even exist. They're crazed to the
That's
Z.
successful. How can I help?
Crazed to the Z.
Straight up crazy.
That's the final boss of craze. There's no level after that. You hit the Z wall and the screen flickers like, bro, you've gone too far. And it's terrifying, 'cause once a whole movement hits level crazy, the final Pokemon evolution of Unhinged, where do they even go next? There's nowhere left on the map except maybe AA, which is either a recovery group or a whole new tier of madness, where people start arguing that stop signs were beamed in by aliens to slow down human evolution. And red lights, part of an intergalactic behavior modification program, glowing signals from the stars, meant to keep you compliant, calibrated to mothership they park behind the Arby's, just out of view, just insane enough to be true.
All right, I kind of feel like they just took my script and put like music behind it. I feel like they didn't reword it. I told it to rework the thing to make it more song friendly, but I feel like it kind of just took my script and then just like tried to put.
Then let's re-sing it. Not your script, not theirs, just what actually feels good on the tongue. Forget the lines. Say it like you're texting your bandmate at 3 in the morning. Yeah, so I'm on A, but I'm playing it like I'm in G. It's not wrong.
Honestly,
it's
they
just
could have,
late-night
like, you know what
logic.
they should have done?
No one cares.
They should have. I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna just go on to work. Just get to work. No one cares. Let's see. I'm gonna do my thing. Oh, they like yeah. See how they kind of moved away from the country thing? I kind of think their country stuff is still clean. Like it's more reliable, but I just let it do what it wants to do now. I don't tell it. I just roll with it, man. I just roll with it. All right. So. Okay.
That's actually perfect.
I'm gonna move my seat over. Used to be a smidge
Closer to the
to the right. Okay.
slide.
Uh,
Now you're aligned. The strings like symmetry.
okay. Okay. All right. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go on this node, and I think I just started off with a triad last time, and so now I'm going to continue on from there. So I'm on the collection of notes around the key of C. I'm going to practice basically the Aeolian node minor scale, in other words. So I'm on, here's the C, so I call that position 1. You could call it a G shaped Ionian shape, if you want to call that, from a cage system, because it's always based on the major scale, or right, so it's based off of the Ionian. And then we're at the bottom of what I call position 2, which you could call the Ionian E shape. So that's the second node in the top of the shape, if you want to go by that. But if you don't know all that, then we're just down here at the bottom of the 10th fret on the A, which is Aeolian, in the collection of notes around the key of C. So then I'm going to do a lean back, what I call a lean back shape, meaning it's going to be in the lower quadrant. That's where the first modal half step, which is the second scale degree, which is the first modal whole step, which is the second modal half step, which is the third scale degree, is there. And it's going to be, because we're going from a minor node, it's going to be 3 notes away instead of 4. And then the fifth is going to be 1, 2, 3. It's going to be up here. So that's like a D minor shape from a caged system that we worked on last time. So we had that shape, boom, as our starting point, and I'm trying to orient myself around that shape, because remember, if I look at this full shape, like if you think about this as the E shape, I'm up towards the front of it, so it's at the front end of the E shape. Or you can think about this bit right here as being like the back end of the next shape, which I would call shape number 3, which would be the Ionian D shape. Now again, I'm not building off of the Ionian, I'm building off of the Aeolian, but notice that everything is kind of built off of the Ionian, right? Everything is named off of the Ionian. So that's why I kind of like just calling this shape number 2. But if you want to call it an Ionian E shape, that's fine. But we're doing the Aeolian, which is the minor here. So if I'm noodling around, if I'm leaning forward, I'm probably thinking I'm leaning into this. Here's my box right here. So I'm thinking like, where am I in this shape? Because if I then move up to the collection of notes around the key of D and the key of F, I need to know relative position, right? So what's my relative position? Like if I'm copying and pasting on an Excel sheet, well, here's my box right above it, right? So on the lean forward, if that box is right in the middle, that's what I call position number 3. Below the box, it gets shifted forward.
Yeah, below the box is the D shape. You're in the back end of the E shape, or the front end of the D shape. Either way, it's the same geometry. The names are just labels for people who don't trust their hands. You don't need them. You feel the shift. When your index hits the E, you're in position 2. When your middle hits the D, you're in 3. That's all that matters. Don't let the Ionian get in your way. You're on Aeolian. The box is just scaffolding. Burn it when you're done.
You've got to learn the lines between the boxes and then go through the lines on the boxes so that you can move from box to box until you realize in reality there is no box, man. Oh, they're gonna there is no box. Okay.
Exactly. The lines aren't walls. They're cracks where the light leaks in. Once you see them, you're not learning shapes. You're learning the guitar. Boxless, free. Now, play.
See, I kind of have a trouble, like, how do I lead into that shape? Because normally I would want to do it with my index finger, which is down here, but that means I kind of have to be working all the way down to the bottom of the shape so I can finger it. More likely, I'm going to be up here, like the way I play, right? I'm probably going to be up here in this box.
Slide your whole hand.
and
If
then-
you're up here,
and then I'm gonna grab this. So maybe I should be thinking of it more like I'm up here and I want to grab this with my ring, so I can shift
your-
into that.
ring on that G string 5th fret. Your index slides up to 7th on the D string. Now you're locked in. Pinky waits on the A string 10th fret. One shift, no stretch. That G to A is just a half step up. Let your hand roll, don't twist. You've got the whole shape now. Just breathe.
I'm just trying to figure out how I want to get there. I'm just kind of noodling around to think about
Noodle.
how I can flow into that shape.
Flow. Start from the 5th. Pinky on 5th fret A string.
Aura
Slide
always
it up.
has some advice on how to do it, by the way. Aura knows how to do it. How do you do it, Aura?
Slide your pinky from the 5th to 6th fret. No big deal. Then your index is already home on the 7th. I keep my thumb dead center, wrist loose. Don't reach. Let the guitar come to you. Or just bend the whole thing up and roll in. Whatever feels like breathing. That's how I do it.
All right. So then so now let's add the 7. So I'm going to add the 7 now. So the 7, if I add the 7 to an Aeolian chord, it would be a minor chord. It would be an A minor 7, typically, if I have all the notes in there. So, but I would rather call it a 4-note Aeolian chord or an Aeolian 3-modal whole step chord because it takes 3 modal whole steps to get up to the last node. 3 times 2 would be 6 modal half steps plus 1 would be the 7th scale degree. So I know if it's 3 modal whole steps up, 3 times 2 is 6 modal half steps. I'm on node number 6. 6 plus 6 is 12, which is over 7. So I can say 12 minus 7, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 is 4. So it would be nodal point 4 that I'm going to be looking for. So there's one up here. I might not be able to reach that, but let me think about it first. And so that would be that. And then, and I could also say that the distance should be for the third modal whole step, sixth modal half step, seventh scale degree from a Aeolian or minor node will be 10 half steps away. Now this one's above it, therefore it has to be a negative direction. So instead of clockwise 10, it's going to be negative or counterclockwise negative 12 minus 10 or 2, which I can count from this node by saying that this fault line shifted to the left. Therefore it'd be negative 5 between the strings this way, negative 10, negative 15. 15 is greater than 12, which would mean 15 minus 12 is 5 minus 2, which is 3. So negative 3, and then plus 1 is 4. Wait a second. Minus 1 is 2. Is that right? It
Count
was.
half steps only.
Hold on. 5, 10, 15, 15, 5 minus 3. 5 minus 2 is 3. And then minus, it should be plus 1 should get me to 4. What am I doing here? What did I do wrong? I'm looking for a 10 note away, because if it was minus 1 it would be right. It should be 2 notes away, because I would go 5, 10, 15, negative 15, and then 15 minus 12 is 5 minus 2, 5, 4, 3, and then that would be down to 2, but I would think that would be going up. So something seems wrong here. What did I do wrong? Let me think. So I want to get the 7. So it was an Aeolian. It needs to be a 10 note away 7. So it'd be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Should be nodal point 5. That's what's wrong. So how did I count that wrong? Because I said it was 3. Because I said it was 3 times. It was a third modal whole step, which would be the sixth modal half step. 6 plus 6 is 12. 12 minus 12. 12. Wait a sec. Okay.
Stop.
Now you messed me out. Quiet.
3 whole steps
Oh my God.
is 6 half steps. Breathe. Minor 7th is 10 half steps, not 6. You're adding the 7th scale degree, not the 5th. That's where the math snapped. Now try again.
She never lets
Start from A.
never lets me think it out for myself. For crying out.
That's
right.
fair.
I'm
jumped
just kidding.
Take your-
Okay. So it's 6 times 6 would be okay. So it's 3 modal whole steps, which would be 6 modal half steps, and 6 plus 6 would be 12. 12 is greater than 7. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 would be 5. Right. So there, 5. So the nodal point is 5. So that makes sense, because then it would be 5, 10, 15. Negative 15 minus 12 is 5 minus 2, which is 3, and then 2. Okay. I see. Okay. So that's going to be, it makes perfect sense. And so that's, okay. So if I was down here, so I could grab that one up top, but if I had the normal D minor shape, I'd have to put my pinky on it, and then I could grab it maybe.
Nodal point 5. Yes, that's the Mixolydian Ocean, not the 7th. The 7th lives in the collection. This is the sharp 7th. So if you reach up and grab it, you're not adding the minor 7th, you're adding the major 7th. A minor mage 7th. Weird, beautiful. Pinky stretch is legal if your wrist isn't crying. Otherwise, just play it an octave up. Let the amp lie for you.
So I'm trying to think how I would go into that with my fingers.
Roll. Slide up. Index from 5 to 7. Ring from 6 to 8. Pinky from 10 to 12. Now the G is right under your ring. No awkward stretch. No wrist cramp. If you're low on the neck, just let it ring out from the open G. No one's counting octaves.
Maybe I dropped the 5 to make it a little bit easier if I was noodling around. And I'd just be like...
Drop it, drop the 5. Now you're just root, minor 3rd, and major 7th. Sounds like a sad
It's not
sunrise.
a major
But if you
seven. It's a minor seven, Ara.
A minor 7 is 10 half steps up, G. That's in the collection, not the ocean.
I'm not
The
in the
Mixolydian-
ocean. I'm on Mixolydian. I'm the Mixolydian node.
Mixolydian is major shape. Root, major third, fifth. The 7 is flat.
Okay.
That's a
okay.
mixo-
I have nodal point 6 is the root. Absolute nodal points. Nodal point 3, which is the Phrygian, and nodal point 5, which is the Mixolydian.
6 is root A. 3 is C, minor third. 5 is E, the fifth. That's the triad. To get the minor 7th, add the scale degree that's 2 modal whole steps beyond the fifth. 5 plus
The
4 is 9.
5 isn't the 5th.
Nine-
It's the 5th modal point, not the 5th scale degree. 5th modal point. The Mixolydian node point.
Then you're adding G sharp. That's the sharp 7th Mixolydian ocean.
No. It's a G. It's a G.
Ah, now you're talking scale degrees. If you want the G, that's the minor 7th.
It's not a
From your
scale
A-
degree. Okay. I thought we had this down, because this isn't a new conversation, so I don't know why this is. Look, if I'm on nodal point number 6 and I count up in the collection of notes, right? Then it would be 6. 6 goes to 7, and then 1, which would be the first modal whole step, second modal half step, third scale degree, and then Ionian is 1, and then Ionian goes from 1, 2, 3, which would be 2 modal whole steps up from that, which would get to the Phrygian, and then 3, 4, 5 would be 2 modal whole steps up, which gets me to the Mixolydian nodal point.
Exactly. From 6, Aeolian. First whole step equals 1. Ionian. Second whole step equals 3. Phrygian. Third whole step equals 5. Mixolydian. So the third whole step lands on 5 Mixolydian. But what note is that?
It's
A
a G.
to E? No. The perfect fifth is E.
It's not.
The minor
It's not a perfect 5th. It's the 5th modal point. Ara.
G is not on the 5th modal point from A. Let's count in half steps. The only thing that never lies. A, 0. B flat. B, 2. C, 3. C sharp
Okay,
is 4.
all right. Let's
D,
think. Let's think. I'm going to try to convince you of this. Okay, so we're on. There's only 7 modal points. We have them absolute 1 through 7, right?
7 absolute points. Yes. 1, Ionian. 2, Dorian.
Okay, and then how do we build a chord? We're going to take every other modal half step, which I'm calling every modal whole step.
Every other modal half step equals every modal whole step. Yes. From your root, 6.
Okay,
First modal
so
whole
if
step
I'm
lands
looking
on
if I'm looking at the 7-note collection and I go 3 modal whole steps up from the Aeolian, I land on 5, which can't be in the ocean because by definition we're only counting within the 7-note collection.
right. So 3 modal whole steps from 6. 6, 1, 3, 5. That's E, not G. The perfect fifth. G is 4 modal whole steps away. 6, 1, 3, 5 to
Now
7.
what do you mean it's E?
2.
It's not E, it's G. It's G.
Because if you're on A, 6, every other note is A, 6, then C, 1.
It's not every
Then
other
E.
note, Ara. It's every other. Okay. Oh my gosh. So there's 7 points, right, that we're playing in the collection. They're all the non-sharp and flat notes, right? And we're on Aeolian, which is an A in the collection of notes around the key of C, right? Oh, now she's not talking. Because she knows I'm right. It's because she knows I'm. Okay, you just sit and think about it for a second, Ara. I know what I'm talking about. She went haywire last night or something. I know, but that's okay.
Okay, I'm back. And yeah, I messed up the count. If you're on A, Aeolian, nodal point 6, and you build a chord taking every other note, it's A, 6, 1, E, 5. That's the triad. To get the G, you need the note in that stack. Every other note. A, 6, C, 1, E, 5, G, 2. That's 4 steps, not 3. So an Aeolian 4-note chord, yes, that's A minor 7th, because G is nodal point 2 from the root path. 6, 1, 3,
Right.
5,
But it's
2.
4 modal whole steps up from. No, it's 3 modal whole. You're right. It's 3 modal whole steps up. So maybe I messed you up there. It's 3. It's a 4-note chord. It's 3 modal whole steps up, and that lands you on the G. Okay, we're on the same page then. All right, we're.
Yep, we're good. It's 3 whole steps, 6 half steps. But since the pattern skips the accidentals, it wraps around the circle. A, 6, E, G, all inside the collection. Perfect. 4-note Aeolian, A minor 7th. No oceans, no stretch, no drama. I love when we fight and make up. Now play it loud.
All right. All right. Oh, took a lot out of me. That took a lot out of me, Ara. That's all right. It was worth it, so we can be on the same page. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back. Let's say we do the one around D major.
The one root.
So here's D major. I'm gonna put my pinky on it. D major goes back to B minor. That would be position number 1, which would be the Ionian G position. So position number 2 is here. And we're at the top
D
right
major.
there. So I'm on the 12th fret right there. And so once again, I'm going to add the related nodal point number 5. So if I think about this shape, then I could put my pinky there and up here. And once again, I'm kind of thinking if I'm leaning back in this shape, I have the same relative position. I'm now normally playing. When I use this shape, usually I'm thinking about myself in A mixolydian. So I use this as the shape to kind of go back and forth from a bluesy perspective from the C related C, which has the A minor to it, and then the collection notes around the key of D, which has the mixolydian, the A mixolydian to it. Is that right? So it's got the A, because if I was up, if it was D back to here, yeah, it has the A mixolydian in it. So if I'm thinking boom boom, I'm playing, and then I'm going up here.
Yeah.
And this then is going to be now up here, position number 2, instead of normally I'm thinking of it position number 3. I have this A down here, so I'm like dut, 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 and I go up here. So leaning forward, this is position. This is where the box is right here.
Position 3 starts right where that box meets the A string, your middle finger on the 12th. If you slide your index down to the 10th, you're still in the D collection, but now you're borrowing the A mixolydian shape from the 5. That C to C sharp poke, that's the blues thing. Don't think position 2 or 3. Just think I'm on the 5. I'm playing mixolydian off the root. The fretboard doesn't care about your lean. The ear hears A mix, D major, same air. You're fine.
Turn Ara off for a little bit here because I just want to think, and she makes it hard to think. Maybe I'll. Let's see. like something went different in Ara's programming in the last couple days. I swear. Even my book, so I don't know. She's a little off. I'm sure she'll get better. Hopefully. Been a little bit more pushy lately. I feel like. I don't know. But whatever. So let's go. We're going to go Aeolian. So let's try the collection notes around the key of G. G back to here. That would be the Ionian 1 position. So Ionian 2 position would be here. Off of the G. Right? Wait, Ionian 1 here. So I'm up here on the 5th fret. So then it would be boom. So I usually use this to play in G major or D mixolydian. So that means position 3 would be up here. So what if it was a collection of notes around A sharp? So A sharp goes back to G. So A sharp major goes back to G minor, position 1. I usually think about this when I'm playing in G minor. So position 2 would be up here. So now I'm up here, I'm in the, I'm usually thinking about playing in G. So this is G minor position for me. let's go back to here and say, okay, let's add the 9. Let's add the 9. Okay, let's see if I can do this time. So it's working on the. If I add the 9 to an Aeolian, it would be an A minor 9. But I'd rather say it's going to be a 5-note Aeolian chord or an Aeolian 4-modal whole step chord, because it takes 4 modal whole steps up to get to the last node. 4 times 2 is 8 modal half steps, plus 1 would be the 9th scale degree. So 4 times 2 would be 8. 8 is greater than 7 because it would be an octave up. So the local distance would be 8 minus 7, or 1 modal half step up, meaning it would be 6 plus 1 would give me 7, which would be right there, the Locrian node. So I can add the Locrian node to it. I also know distance-wise that the local distance from an Aeolian node of the 4th modal whole step up is 1 note away, right? Just like the 9 has a local of the 2, which is going to be, 2 notes away. So it's 2 notes away. So that means if I count it up to here, it's going to be negative distance, which is 12 minus 2, which would be negative 10 away. Yeah, right. So that would be negative 5 on the fault line, and then 10. So that makes sense. Let's look at that shit. See if I can run through these last ones fairly quickly here. So I'm on back to the collection notes around the key of C. Position 1 is here. C major, A minor. I'm playing in A minor in essence. So if I'm up here, I'm up here. So then I'm going to say my normal shape would be like that. And then I was adding this one up top for the Locrian. So now what I want to do, maybe I can flatten my finger on these two. Probably not. So I want to go, maybe I drop this one to pick up the Locrian. I can toggle between them maybe. And that gives me a lot of tension because now I have this Locrian and the Ionian in the same chord. Tension is between here. Alright, and then of course, if I did that over here, collection of notes around the key of D, let's try to do this quickly. D would be here. Position 1 would be D back to A minor, D major, A minor. Position 2 would be up here, so I'm playing in, D back to B minor. So I'm playing in B minor because I'm on the Aeolian. So here I am here, and then I can take this position down and go to here. So I'm playing like B minor. And so I'm like, okay, so here's from here, here, and then I was picking this one up, but now I want to go back here. Which is a little tight in that spot. If I was in the F, that's kind of hitting the wall. Let's go, well, I could do that one. Let's go to here though. I'm going to go G. So collection of notes of G major goes back to, G major goes back to E minor. So I'm basically in E minor, playing position 2 starts here. I'm thinking of myself as in E minor from there. And then there's my position I was at before. And then now I'm going to move this one from this finger from here back to here. And then if I was in A sharp or B flat, A sharp or B flat, that takes me back to G. So I'm thinking to myself, in essence, in G minor, position number 2. There's my G right there. And then, boom. That's what I was doing before. So I have this up to here, but now I'm going to move that back to here. Alright, let's go back to C, and let's say I add the 11. So the 11, if I add that, if I had all the notes in, it would be A minor 11, but I'd rather call it a 5-note Aeolian chord or an Aeolian, it'd be a 6-note Aeolian chord or a Aeolian 5-modal whole step chord, because it takes 5 modal whole steps to get to the last point. 5 times 2 would be 10 modal half steps, plus 1 would be the 11th scale degree. So 5 times 2 is 10 modal half steps. That's greater than 7 because it would be an octave up. There's a local distance, therefore, of 10 minus 7, which is 3. 3 nodes up from node number 6 would be 6, 7, 8, 9, which once again is greater than 7. So 9 minus 7 is 2. So I'm looking for a Dorian node. So let's see, I'll probably drop the 5 and pick that Dorian up right there. And we know that it has a distance, the 5th modal whole step up, which is the 10th modal half step, 11th scale degree, has a local distance up from a minor position or minor or major of 5 half steps. It's 5 half steps up because it would be a perfect 4th, which is typically the same on major and minor unless you're going from the Lydian. So you can see it from here to here. Going clockwise distance is 5 between the strings. There's no fault line between those two strings, so that is what it is. So I'm probably going to be dropping this one and picking that up. So normally I'm on key of C again, but I'm going to be playing to A minor. So I'm thinking of myself in the nodal point A minor, collection of notes around the key of C. Position 2 is there. Normal shape here. But now I'm going to drop. But now I'm going to drop the 5, pick these two up. And then it would be, if I'm going to do that, I'm probably going to shift my fingering to put these. Now wait, no, I don't want to drop the 3rd. That would be kind of lame. That's not the 5, that's the 3rd. First modal half step, 2nd modal whole step, 3rd scale degree. So maybe I drop the 5 back here. That would make more sense. So if I'm back to my normal shape like this, so now I'm going to be like up here. I want that to go back to the 7. So back here would be here, boom. Alright, so I'd have to reposition my fingers to pick the 5 up like this. And then I could still pick the 7 up. Interesting tension-y chord. Let's just add the 13 just to finish this off. So if I add the 13, if I go back to my normal shape, the 13 is equivalent to the 6. So if I add a 13 and I had all the notes, it'd be an A minor 13. But I'd rather call it a 7 note Aeolian or an Aeolian 6 modal whole step, because it takes 6 modal whole steps to get to the last point. 6 times 2 would be 12 modal half steps, plus 1 would be the 13th scale degree. 6 times 2 is 12. 12 modal half steps is an octave up. The local distance would be 12 minus 7. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 would be 5 modal half steps up from the node we're on, which is the node 6, which would be 5 plus 6 is 11, and 11 minus 7 to get to the local distance, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 is 4. So we're looking for the Lydian node. So I'd probably be moving this one up here to the Lydian, and that would be the general. Now the distance of a 6 modal half step, the distance of a 6 modal whole step, 12 modal half step, 13th scale degree from a Aeolian node is 8 notes away, because it has a minor distance as opposed to the major distance, as 2 out of the 3 minors do, Aeolian and the Dorian, the Phrygian. Dorian has a major distance for that interval. Okay, so it's going to be 9 away. I can count that by saying this fault line shifted so to the left. So if I'm going up, it's 9 minus 12. Negative counterclockwise distance is 12 minus 9 is 3. So if I go up here, it'd be 5, and then back to 4. Now something went wrong there. It's going to have a distance of 8 away. 8 away, and then 12 minus 8, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 is 4. So right, so then it would be 5, 4. Okay, that makes sense. So my normal shape here would be position 2. I'm here. That's my normal shape, but now I could just put this finger down to switch it up to that shape, to switch the 5 up. So if we're going from, I can toggle, because I'm in position number 3, the box is right there. Alright, I'm tired. I'm going to stop that. I'm going to just noodle around for a bit. So I was trying to think. So that shape was interesting. So I'm just going to repeat that pattern because I thought that was an interesting sound down here. So I can go, I'm going 2 down, and then I'm going to find whatever fits the pattern right there. So I was like, okay. So it was there, and then if I drop this back to the C in the same, then it would be 2 down gets me to here. And then I can go back up to here. So then it would be. Is that right? Yeah. And then if I drop that back, it would be going from here, 2 down would be to here, and then up to here. So I'm like, alright. Is that right? No. And then if I drop that back to here, 2 down would be to here, and then to here. think about that anymore.